This is Speaking of Pets podcast, where we give you up-to-date, accurate, science-based information when making decisions about your pet's health.
From experts in dermatology like my sister, surgery, internal medicine, CBD use in pets, the pet food industry, you name it. If it affects pets, we'll talk about it.
Today's Speaking of Pets podcast is sponsored by Blue Buffalo, the maker of natural pet foods. Love them like family, feed them like family. Blue Buffalo offers wholesome, meat-first recipes with high-quality natural ingredients in flavors dogs and cats love. Discover formulas for all breed sizes, life stages, and lifestyles. And with Blue Buffalo's True Blue Promise, that assures that real meat is the first ingredient, with no poultry byproducts, no corn, wheat, or soy, and no artificial flavors or preservatives. Hey, welcome to Speaking of Pets podcast. I'm Dr. Alice Novotny Bower, a board-certified veterinary allergist and dermatologist, and
I'm Janet Novotny King, and I am not a board-certified allergist and dermatologist. I'm your average pet owner and sister of the veterinarian. And who's joining us today, Al?
Well, we have a very special guest because, and let me do a lead-in. We've had quite a few questions after Catherine Velez, our social worker for pets, was on. And so we've had questions about how we can deal with grief in children. Are there any books out there for kids? Are there therapy dogs? So the first person I thought of to call in and talk about this is a graduate of Bowling Green State University as an English major, a Master of Science in Guidance Counseling from Montclair University, a Master of Library Science from University of Tennessee, Knoxville, and currently a middle school librarian in Memphis, Tennessee. And she happens to be our sister, Penny Novotny Bower. Welcome.
Thank you.
Now, what I didn't mention is Penny is really a pet whisperer because she has rescued numerous dogs, numerous cats. She had a chow that nobody liked. The dog didn't like anybody except for her. My favorite rescue of hers is when her elderly neighbor moved, Penny adopted her elderly cat, Molly Cat, who used to live outdoors and was in kidney failure. And let me tell you, for anyone to adopt a cat and make it an indoor cat and it's in kidney failure because they pee all over, that is a real angel of a person. Molly Cat had a wonderful the rest of her life with our sister. So thank you.
Penny is the best litter pooper scooper because the minute that Molly Cat pooped or tinked, that litter box, Dr. Linda would be so proud. That litter box was swept right out.
May I use the word pristine, which we've heard several times from our sister?
Yes,
that's right.
Pristine.
But she still put it in the rug and on the floor. She didn't like the box after a while.
But we're not telling the people that bought your house, okay?
Okay.
No, I already know because there's stains all over the floor. And I have the rug to prove it. That Haley picture,
you never wear a double mask.
Before we get into what we're going to talk about, I want to hear about your current rescue. Tell us that story because we have a picture of him.
Mm-hmm. Are you talking about Buddy? Okay. So Buddy, we used to live on a public golf course and people just dumped everything on the golf course. And I would walk around. At the time we had two other dogs and I would walk around, one with one dog, put him in, get the other one, walk all the way around. It was about 2 miles. Mm-hmm. So on my second lap, and I had seen a box dumped over from a distance, but I didn't go that way. But a guy that I sometimes saw and walked with, he yells from a distance, like about maybe a quarter of a block, "Hey, Penny, look at this." He had kicked the box over, and in it were 4 beautiful puppies, like about 3 pounds each. And so I got up there when I had my one dog with me and I looked down at the brown and there was a brown and white one, 2 black and white ones and a white one. So I just said, I'll take that one. He took the other 3. He found a home for the white one and he kept the other 2. So Buddy, and the one I got was Buddy. And the other 2, we would see Buddy's brother and sister, Freckles and Spud, on our walk when we'd walk around the golf course. So, and I still have Buddy. He's 10.
Oh. And
But he's been great.
What I was so happy, and I was very worried that Buddy and Molly Cat wouldn't get along because Buddy hadn't been around cats. But then when you adopted Molly Cat, what happened?
Well, Molly Cat stayed upstairs for a year, and Buddy stayed downstairs. They would never would cross each other's path. And then one day, after a year, Molly Cat happened to be coming down the steps, and Buddy was going up, and Buddy went way around her, and she thought, "Well, he's afraid of me." And after that, she was all over the place. He would lay on the couch; she'd sit like on the counter. He didn't care; she didn't care, and it all
I
worked
love
out.
that.
But wait,
Didn't
you have a pregnant rescue too? Didn't you
Oh,
whelp?
yeah, another time on the golf course, there was this beautiful chow mix with a pink collar. And so I got her and I put ads in the paper and I put signs up all over. Nobody responded, but somebody called me and they said, "We think it's might be this dog from our neighbor." So I drove over there and it was awful. It was like a two-family house side by side and a bunch of dogs inside, and the screen door was all ripped up. And I said, "Is anybody home?" to the neighbor, and they said, "No, but they have all kinds of dogs." So I just drove home and kept her.
Yeah.
And 2 weeks later, she had 10 puppies. So we had the puppies. We found homes for all 10 puppies, and that's where we got Teddy.
Oh, that was
my
Teddy.
friend had. But she had a place in New York that she would go for 2 months at a time, and we would take care of Teddy because he was a chow, and he would we couldn't trust
He did a
him,
lot of
but
this,
he liked
like a
us.
lot of the teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that's the story of Annie and her puppies, and she lived to be about 50.
Yeah.
And didn't you use like the escargot box as the welcome
What?
box? You know the box you put on
No, the one family
the
vacation
box you
from
put on
Sears.
top of
Oh.
your car, which was really smart.
Yeah, I put it in Haley's room because she was at camp that summer.
Well, anyway,
So that's that.
tell us about your experience with the therapy dogs. It's such a sad story, but those dogs are so helpful. Relay that to us.
Okay, so we at our school, it was a year ago this fall. We had a young teacher who taught junior kindergarten, and she was out for a very early morning jog before school. And this thug tried to attack her, and when she fought him off, he shot her in the back of the head and dumped her body behind a vacant house.
Mhm.
Well, you can imagine our whole school was just really, it was terrible, grieving. And what do you tell like 4 and 5-year-old kids that their teacher, but of course they didn't tell them that. I don't know how they handled that,
Yeah.
but as a coincidence, we had done an all school read, and it was all the way from first grade through 12th. It was a graphic novel, and it was The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse.
Oh, I love that.
By Charlie McKeevy. So luckily, all through the year, we used quotes from this book as comfort, and the different divisions of the school, lower, middle, and upper, used the book in different ways to get through all this. So the author, Charlie McKeevy, got heard of this, and so he reached out to us. He wanted to do a Zoom call with our school. So we did. And we got a representative from a kid from the lower school, the middle school, the high school, to share how comforting his book was. And this is what the guy looks like. I don't know if you can see. And there's his dog, Barney.
Oh.
And he loves Barney. He was on the Zoom call. And the little first grader, she was going like this and imitating Barney. And she talked about how she loved, because the book is all about a boy and 3 animals that would not hang out with each other in regular life, but they were going through the wilderness trying to find a home.
Mhm.
And so throughout the book, there's words to live by, like "you are loved," stuff like that, things that are very uplifting. So the middle school representative, she said her little sister, who was at another school, was having some friendship problems, and she read the book to her and talked to her about it, because it has a lot about friendship in it and how these animals that really didn't like each other very much came together. But at the end, they really don't find a home. But the boy says, I think a home doesn't have to be a place.
Mm-hmm.
And then the head of school also, he used this book for, we gather in chapel every day. It's not religious, it sometimes is, but we have like alums come and talk and bands will come and play. It's just like, but so he used this one passage. What do you do when our hearts hurt? Asked the boy. We wrap them with friendship, shared tears and time, till they wake hopeful and happy again.
Mm.
So that was kind of our theme of the year, that if we can get through this together and to be kind to each other and to notice the good things in each other. So that was our all school read, and then the tragedy. But then we had therapy dogs come in. They were stationed all over the school. Like we had one in the library, luckily. So, and if a girl wanted to, it's an all girl school. If a girl wanted to come, they needed a hug. They just got up from class and went down and cuddled with a dog and then left. It was wonderful. And I have to show you that the therapy dogs gave out business cards.
Oh, I love that.
Got business cards, and like some of them still have it. We talk about it was just great. But also, tell me if I'm talking too much,
No.
but our school is very pet friendly. We've had therapy dogs before. The middle school counselor brought them in before exams. We had them out on the field during our field day. And then another time when we had blue white day, where for a couple hours in the afternoon, the middle school goes out and we play games and have popsicles and whatever. The assistant to the middle school head brought in a rescue group. So the girls could cuddle with the dogs and stuff. And the 8th grade science teacher had just lost her dog and went home with one.
Oh, I love that.
That's my dog
Oh,
stuff.
I love it. Now, wasn't the author of that book from the UK?
Yes.
We zoomed from Great Britain to do this call.
Yes, he did. And he was delightful, but
He's a talker.
he talked a long.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a talker, but he was so touched by us using his book, and it all turned out to be a very good thing, actually by accident, because we don't always do an all school read. So.
Now, when I was practicing and we would lose a pet, there's several books like Rainbow Bridge, but I always liked the Ryland books. Yes. I love Cynthia Ryland's Dog Heaven and Cat Heaven too. I almost like Cat Heaven better because it's not real heavy, and it's just it's comforting in a whimsical sort of way. You're a librarian, you could probably explain it better than that.
Okay, so here's a passage that when a cat needs, she may simply ponder and watch the blue world deep and wide. All cats love heaven. They know the way there. They know where the angels can fly. They'll run past the stars and the moon and the sun to curl up with God in the sky. It sounds religious, but it's not.
No, it isn't.
Let me see. It talks about, I love the one where they're all sitting on the counter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. When cats are hungry, there's God's kitchen counter, all covered with white kitty dishes, full of tuna and salmon and mounds of sardines and wonderful little pink fishes.
Oh,
that looks like Penny's house.
Yeah.
And she's a Newbery Award winner, which is like a big deal in kids' books.
Huh.
Also painted the illustrations in this book.
She did. I did not know that. See, I like the Rainbow Bridge, but it's a little heavy and kind of depressing, really. I don't know. Everything's different to every personality, I guess. Yeah.
Here's the part in the Dog Heaven about homeless dogs and what happens to them in heaven. The dogs in Dog Heaven who had no real homes on earth are given one in heaven. The homes have yards and porches, and there are couches to lie on and tables to sit under while angels eat their dinners. There are special bowls with the dogs' names on them, and each dog is petted and reminded how good he is all day long.
See, I love that.
And I always say to my friends when they lose a dog, and especially if they have kids, kids just feel so much better after they read it.
I bought so many of those that Amazon asked me to review it. because I was buying them all the
Oh my
time
gosh.
for clients, for dogs that would pass away or cats. And I got a note from them, would you review it? And I absolutely did because I love it. But that's before I heard about the other one, the mole, the fox. Yeah. But I like that. Yeah.
Oh, well, this is really better for
I
grieving, I
think
Yeah.
so
think.
too.
And for children and
I would,
adults, it's
I mean, I think that's a good book. I mean, a graphic novel for the kid, but this is what you need for
mhm,
when you have lost
And
a
a
pet.
bowl
yeah.
of potato chips, and you need Lawson's French onion dip,
Yeah,
and the book, and all is
Yeah.
good.
right.
Penny, did you hear that, Annie, my Amish mill mama rescue that we've had going on a year now, never barks
The
or growls.
alligator.
What?
Alligator.
The alligator.
Yes. And so she was looking out the bedroom window yesterday morning and she started growling because she sees birds out there all the time. And darn if it wasn't that alligator passing through. Well, he was sitting there for a while. And it's interesting because the trail is still back there. It's just like long divot.
Ooh.
And then the neighbors 4 doors down emailed me and said that they saw him in their backyard the other day. So he's making the round. I guess it's mating season.
Ooh, party down.
Yeah. Right. So Janet, what are you up to today?
So I went to Pilates this morning, and then I had to go to the lab that screwed up my lab result. That's another story. And
Mhm.
I've been paying bills and processing like eyeglass reimbursements. Very boring day. Really
Ah.
boring day. I was supposed to see my friend Susan, who's in the city from California, but she was way too busy, so we decided not to do anything today.
Well, I want to get your guys' opinion on something. I was reading yesterday in LinkedIn that now MDs, physicians, are going to start charging for emails. And their
What?
statement,
You're starting to.
if you
Like
email
every
them
time
with
you
a
email
question,
your doctor, they're going to charge you like 30 or 40
Oh,
bucks.
I see.
$39. And
Yeah.
the excuse, a couple of the MDs that wrote in said, well, attorneys do it. Why shouldn't we? And I had to bite my tongue because I thought it would be World War III as a
Mhm.
veterinarian if I would start charging people for emails. I mean, come on, people. And then
Mhm.
someone made a
Yeah,
comment,
but you don't have to.
what?
You don't have to. Why would you even do
I would
that?
never do that. But
That's what I'm saying. Not all doctors are going to do
I
that.
no,
hope
but
not.
another comment was, hey, the doctors don't answer it anyway. It's the nurse practitioners or
Yep.
physician's assistants. But I just the comparison of, well, why shouldn't I charge for it? Attorneys do. I mean, it's two different professions. You know what I'm saying? So
But I
yeah,
was thinking about that, Alice, because we talked
yeah.
about it yesterday. And when your kid goes to school, the state requires that you have the medical thing, and the doctors charge you for that medical report.
Sure, of
Which
course
I
they
think
do.
it's kind of crazy because you have to have it. And then when your
Right.
kid goes to summer camp, day camp, or sleepaway camp, you have to pay I think it's $50. Now that's extracurricular to me, right? Like that's extra. But
Right.
yeah, every time you ask for that medical report from the pediatrician, they charge you. It's already filled
Is it?
out. They're just copying it.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah.
You see what
I
I
don't
mean?
know.
You have to have it.
Penny, did you do that when the girls went to camp?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember if I had the physical, if they had a physical that year, I could just copy it and
I
send
got
it to the
charged. They
camp.
would copy it, but I got charged for it.
No, I have in my folder at home. I
Oh.
had a copy of the physical,
Physical.
and then I just would copy that and send it off to the camp.
I thought it had to be updated every year, though. No.
Yeah, you have a current one.
Yeah,
Mm.
it was. If they had a physical within the last year, it would
Mhm.
count. You don't have to, like, let's say they had a physical in February and the camp starts in
It
June.
works.
Well, you can use that.
Okay. Got it.
If not, then they just fill out. You go there and they might weigh them or whatever, but they have all their shot records. I have all their shot records. I wasn't a problem then, but my kids are 40,
Yeah.
and 44. So
How is Buddy had oral surgery. How is that doing?
Oh.
fine. He's great. Yeah.
And that was a bad molar?
Yep.
I'm going to
And
tell you, molars are hard to get out. They
Ooh.
are hard. You can imagine how deeply seated that is.
Right. It had broken off in the,
Oh.
yeah. So anyhow, he had that.
Is he allowed to chew that Chewy that you showed
Yeah.
me?
But I didn't even know, he didn't act like he was in pain or anything. She noticed it during a dental.
Hey, did you know that for dogs and cats that could benefit from a prescription diet, Blue Buffalo offers natural veterinary diets formulated by animal nutritionists and veterinarians for certain dietary needs like kidney support, weight management, gastrointestinal support, and my particular favorite, dermatology. They make a food allergic diet that's an alligator based called NP or a hydrolyzed salmon based for dogs and cats called HF. Contact your veterinarian about these prescription Blue Buffalo diets.
Haley, you have to be on the podcast because Aaron and Josh were.
Tell her to bring the dog.
Just not podcast ready.
Okay, just come and say hi.
Hi.
Hey, where's Cooper? Bring Cooper on.
Okay, it's Coop.
It's Coop.
Not Cooper.
Like
Coop.
chicken coop.
Here, buddy. Here's Buddy.
Here comes
Buddy.
Buddy.
There he is.
He's a-
Yes.
Hi, Buddy.
Let's show me
Aw,
your teeth.
he's out.
Here's
He's out.
Coop. Look.
Hi,
Isn't he
Coop.
Coop? He's a sweet boy.
Coop. They get along really well, don't they?
Coop knows how to mind his own business.
Yeah.
You
very
know,
private.
Buddy doesn't get along with a lot of dogs.
You know, there
Buddy
is-
doesn't like the ones that come on strong, right?
Yeah.
Penny?
Yeah, or it depends. Sometimes he doesn't even like when he walks up to one, he starts growling. So,
You know, there is something the three of us have in common.
What?
Our
can
middle
show our-
names.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
after
all
the
Marie.
Yeah.
We're all
Sister
Marie. 'cause-
Alice Marie.
Yeah.
Right. Named after a nun.
I think it was after the Virgin Mother Mary because Mother is Catholic.
No, it was after a sister. It was a nun, Sister Alice Marie. I'm not
named
making it up.
I'm named after Janet Leigh, psycho, and a nun. That's great.
You weren't named after the actress.
Wait a minute.
She
Janet.
told
He
me.
has a vet question.
I have a question. So we had a really
Okay.
bad storm.
We have a live question.
A live question. We had a really bad storm in Memphis last night. And
Yes.
Buddy was super nervous. Coop sleeps in the bed with me. He was shaking. I couldn't calm
Yeah.
him down. Do you have any tips for that, Alice?
Well, thunder shirt, but you have to put it on prior, because if you put it on then, they're like, oh, something's going to happen. The other thing is some people are trying melatonin, and on our first podcast, some are using Dr. Powers CBD,
Mm-hmm.
I've heard.
but it doesn't work immediately.
Okay.
And if you're going to use it, it's Beaver Island hemp. Yeah, because we know Dr. Powers, and his product is very well researched. So
Very pure.
Yeah.
Is there somewhere you have that posted where I can find how to order it?
Yes. Duke, our AV person, is shaking his head yes.
Okay.
So he will do that. But yeah, thunder shirt or CBD and or melatonin. My problem with melatonin is it's a supplement. Supplements are not FDA approved. You don't know what you're getting when you buy it.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
so I would do the CBD only because I know it's it's strict regulated the way he makes it, and the thunder shirt's a good idea. But you got to kind of use it prior to the storm. You can't just hit it on him when the storm's coming.
But sometimes you don't know it's going to be bad.
No, but you can start putting him on it. Put it on him every day and pet him and say, "Oh, what a good boy!" That kind of thing, like
Okay.
positive reinforcement.
Because
Yeah.
I've noticed it really has escalated as he's aged. He's 6.
Yeah.
As they get older, it's horrible. I know. Yeah, it is. I would do the CBD and the thunder shirt. I mean, you could get into drugs like alprazolam and things like that. And if have you ever given him Benadryl? Because it doesn't really work that well for allergy, but it makes him sleepy.
Okay. Okay. I'm
And
gonna
what
do
does
this.
what does he weigh? What does Cooper weigh?
He's like 34 pounds, I think.
So the dose for Benadryl is actually higher in dogs than people. It's 1 milligram per pound,
Okay.
up to 3 times a day. So he would have 25
Oh, God.
milligrams once, twice, or 3 times a day.
Okay.
So if that makes him sleepy, now I will warn you, there's a very small percentage that it can make the dog hyper.
Same.
Any antihistamine, yeah. Did his lipoma heal okay? I felt so badly about that.
It did. Yeah. It looks
It was a trying time.
well, he got a little neurotic. He's a big licker, so we had to wear the cone and the bodysuit. And we also have to walk him like twice a day, and we had to limit the exercise, but we made it through.
Okay,
You know,
good.
I've also heard, Haley, that music with the CBD, like calm music, makes
Yeah.
a difference too. That's helpful.
Okay.
And I also heard that when you leave the house, if you have a dog that's nervous about being alone, that you put AM radio, like talk radio on, because they think like that din of people talking that someone's there,
Okay.
or the TV.
He's really not anxious any other time besides storms.
And they feel it coming on. They really do. They know it before we do. So yeah, I would try a thunder shirt to start
Okay.
before you get into oral meds. You know, I'm kind of, if we don't have to use meds, I'd rather not. Yeah.
Okay. We might get one today.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
Hollywood.
there you go.
I want to ask a question about dog food. Like I give him fish and potato, and I steam broccoli every night. But
I
every
know.
once in a while, I feel I should put some meat in there. Is that okay?
Well, he eats from, right?
What?
What brand does he eat? Doesn't he eat from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
From. As long as the bag says it's designed for all life stages, it's perfectly balanced. The only way you would add meat is if you just wanted to give him a little extra treat. You don't have to add that for nutrients, though.
Okay. I didn't want because there for a while his protein enzymes were up, but she
Right.
thought maybe it was like an infection or something like that. But I stopped giving him chicken. I used to give him rotisserie chicken every night with his dog food, but I
I
stopped.
thought it was his liver enzymes.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
liver enzymes. You're right,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
they were normal the last time she checked. So,
Yeah.
but I had
Well,
also cut out the chicken. That's what I'm wondering.
It doesn't hurt to cook some ground beef, and if you want as an additive, but it does. You're on a perfectly balanced food. Now, what the mistake a lot of people make is, Buddy is his weight is good, but say you wanted him to lose weight,
I don't.
I know, but say you did, and you would just reduce the amount of food you're giving him, which is a mistake because he's not getting all the nutrients he should.
Yeah.
If you want a dog to lose weight, you need to talk to your veterinarian about a weight loss diet, because when you reduce the amount you're feeding him, you're taking away those nutrients away. People
Okay.
don't realize that.
That's
But
good.
I will tell you one thing. Remember that when veterinarians would say, we want you to add more fiber to the diet because maybe he has a loose stool. Oh, canned pumpkin. That's out. You know what we use now? And I've got it right here. Fiber One cereal.
Haley uses pumpkin with Coop every time.
Well, if that's working for her, that's fine. But the new thing is Fiber One cereal.
But doesn't
And
it have a lot of sugar in it?
What?
No, it doesn't.
Oh.
It doesn't. No
Okay.
added sugar.
Okay.
I give a quarter of a cup to Gidget every day because she has stress colitis. Like when we have people over,
Yeah.
you know, like Janet, when you came to visit, you know, she got up with diarrhea, or if something happens. But yeah, a quarter of a cup every day to increase her bulk of her stool. New
Penny-
in things
go ahead.
always.
There's something, a tradition Penny always had. You used to hang up all those stockings for each pet. Do you still do that at holiday time, at Christmas time?
Well, I still have the stockings, but I didn't really decorate this year.
There were like 25 or 30 of them.
Yeah, but you know, the thing is, it's too much work. I think
Anything else, Janet, with Libby going on?
With Libby, no, we've been going for lots of walks because it's been in the 60s here. And she's been, she's willful. We love her, but she's willful. And lately she's been spending a lot of time stopping and sniffing for not listening to me. Like we're walking and then we stop, we sniff for a long time. But, and she's been running to get the ball a lot. No, nothing new with her. She rolled. We had a lot of water. So we had kind of like a mini pond in the front yard. And she rolled in the water and leaves and stunk. So I had to do the dawn wash. I washed her. But just her usual antics. She's been good. She's been good.
Yesterday, I read a study about Lyme disease in the Northeast where you live, and they said those ticks carrying Lyme up there are getting more resistant to cold weather.
Yep. They don't die anymore. Even our lawn
bigger
guy
and
told me
stronger.
that, and our exterminator friend said they don't die, ever.
Oh, and I got something for Penny. I put it on Facebook today. These researchers did a study, these 3 researchers, they looked at over 100 dogs about tail wagging. And when another dog approaches another dog, if the tail is kind of wagging to the right, they want to approach and they're very interested. If it's more wagging to the left, they're very like, I don't think I want to see him. And so the
Huh.
researchers said that doesn't even sound right because we always thought tail wagging was symmetrical, but it's not. It's asymmetrical. And when the researchers started watching their own dogs closely, they picked up on that. So right tail wag means, hey, I want to approach this whatever it is oncoming. Left tail wag, I don't think so.
Who's
Huh.
right and who's left? The way I'm looking at the dog's tail? Or
No,
the dog
you're
from
right. No, it's his right.
the dog's
Okay.
right. Okay.
The dog's right. Yes.
I'm
Good
going to get all
question.
confused.
Yeah. Usually ophthalmology questions are like that. Which right?
It's like that in Pilates too.
Oh, okay. Got it. Well, now, Janet, we need to ask Penny our question.
Oh, yeah. So, Penny, we ask all of our guests this question. What is your pet or human peeve?
Okay, it's leashless dogs.
Absolutely.
A common peeve. I
Oh,
agree. They come flying at you
me
and you're like,
too.
stop.
Hey, and then my second one is fenceless fences.
Yeah.
What's that? You mean like my
I-
fence?
Like
yeah,
your-
like your fence.
Oh.
Because she never knows if the dog's going to break through and she's walking buddy.
Oh,
No, no,
see, most of
not
the
that
dogs
one.
here on electric fence.
if my buddy's out in a fenceless fence, then a leashless dog can come in.
Right.
That's my concern.
Oh,
Oh,
you're right.
got
You're
it.
right. Wow.
There you go.
There you go. Pet peeve.
What are yours? What are your pet peeves?
Oh, geez. Janet, you go first.
My pet peeve is the leashless dogs or the ones where the owners think, oh, they're going to listen to me. And I'm like, no, your dog's all over my dog. Get them off. You know,
Yeah.
that bugs me too. That really drives me nuts.
Yeah.
And what
Okay,
about
me
yours,
next.
Al?
Okay, for sure, leashless dogs, because I walk Hinkley Lake like at 6:30 in the morning because I know all the people walking and they're responsible pet owners. And when we see somebody new, they get the eyeball because that dog better be leashed. Because I told you about our episode with Denise and me when
Yeah.
the woman walking the two, and yeah. And then my human pet peeve is people that aren't responsible for their pets. You know,
We got
puppy
yeah.
mill, you name it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Janet, I guess we got to wind it up.
We've got to wind
So-
it up this session.
I know.
So don't forget to our listeners to send in your pet questions, your pet or human peeves to contact at speakingofpetspod.com.
Yes. And follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all social media. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to see your pet pictures. And so for now, I'm Dr. Alice Novotny Jeroman.
And I'm Janet Novotny King, and we're joined by Q Penny.
Oh, Penny Novotny Bower, aka Shirley Novotny Bower.
And we are
the Novotny,
the Novotny sisters.
from Cleveland, Ohio.
Have a great day and kiss your pets for us.
Right on the
Bye.
lips. Give them a hug. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for tuning in today. We hope you found the science-based information provided helpful in taking care of your pet. Check out our other Speaking of Pets episodes wherever you get your podcasts.
We'd love to hear from you. So email your pet photos and or pet peeves to contact@speakingofpetspod.com. Remember to follow Speaking of Pets on all social media.